Wow. Wow. The Phillies fall 5-3 to the Miami Marlins. They lost the first 2 games of this 3-game series. You got to be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. I'm almost lost for words. It's to the extreme. This is to the extreme what is going on right now with this ball club. We had a lead in this game. We were up 3-1 in the 7th inning. Vinny V on the mound to start this off 5 innings. He goes 5 innings deep. He had 5 strikeouts, and he only allowed 1 earned run and one hit. 1 hit at the end of the day. He only allowed 1 hit. And that was to, who was it? Riddle, who hit the solo shot in the 3rd. We responded with back-to-back dingers by Bryce Harper, which was a line drive out of the ballpark, and Rhys Hoskins. Back-to-back bang, we're up 2-1. Bryce Harper gets an RBI single, 3-1. He stretches it trying to go to second, and realistically, I thought he was in there safe, but they caught him out. Going back to Vinny V, though, I don't care how good he does. I really don't. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care if he has a great outing. I think the worst thing for this organization is to see him have a good outing because he's just not it. He's not the answer, and I don't want him to give this team any false hope that he is the answer. He's not. I'm done with this kid. He's not the starter. I don't know what he is in the bullpen. I can't get used to seeing this kid out there ever again. It's not good enough at the end of the day, whether he throws a decent outing on the table or not. I'm done with him. I'm moving on from him. So he has a decent 5 innings, but that doesn't show me anything. That doesn't tell me anything. I've seen enough year after year. It's the same thing with Vinny V. He could throw in an outing like this. He could throw in an outing where he strikes out 8, 9 guys. But he is what he is. He's not good enough. That's the answer. But in the 7th, when we're up 3-1, Adam Morgan returns. He gets into some trouble. Ramos comes in. He doesn't help whatsoever. And Castillo, this guy who's been mucking and grinding, this veteran guy who's been in the minors, hasn't seen an MLB hit in, 10 years? Crushes a 2 RBI double to take the lead 4-3. Then in the 8th, they score another run. It's 5-3. In our 8th inning, Cesar Hernandez gets crushed for not hustling. He should have been on second base. Seems like a very, 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 very similar story to what we've seen around this damn team recently. He ends up getting doubled up later. And you know what bothers me? That Gabe Kapler is probably going to sit him tomorrow. That does nothing to me. Sit Gene when he does it twice. Cesar deserves to be sat, but when you don't sit another player because he's good, but you'll sit Cesar because he's not as good and you can get away with it, what the hell does that show me as a fan? So if Cesar does get sat tomorrow, I don't look at that as a Gabe Kapler showing authority, even though he went on his little rampage today, which I will get to. If Cesar is sat tomorrow, I'm sorry, the effect means nothing. You missed your opportunity to make a statement by sitting a good player, by sitting a great player on this team. Doing it to the guy who doesn't really have much, doing it to just an guy in your lineup, that doesn't tell me anything. And I know that's how it's going to go down, and that frustrates the hell out of me. I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if Cesar Hernandez is in the lineup tomorrow. That doesn't make a statement. That doesn't tell anybody in the clubhouse anything. Do it to the guys that matter. Do it to the guys that are at the top of the team. That shows something to the clubhouse. That shows. Now let's talk about Gabe Kapler in the 4th with his meltdown. I'll be honest, I loved it. I love the energy. I love the cursing, the freaking out, the screaming, the finger points. The frustration, the kick of the dirt on the umpires, the look he gave them, and the standing ovation. I loved it. At the end of the day, though, guess what? It didn't work. It didn't work. The bullpen blew up. Also, in the 9th, we had a chance. We had a chance to knock in some runs. Didn't happen. Wasn't able to execute. Wasn't able to come up with a very timely hit. Shocker. The team is in its own head right now. It's clear. They're in their own head. They can't get out of this funk. They're mentally destroyed. I don't know what to tell you. Tomorrow we have De Los Santos on the mound. Does that make you feel any better? Are we going to have to go with another bullpen-type game? Well, look what happened today. And Adam Morgan has been a very trusted guy throughout this season. But he's coming off the IL, and this was his first outing, and this is what he gives you. He battled, he struggled, and he had some problems. Now, when Gabe Kapler ends up getting ejected from the game, you have guys running the bullpen who normally aren't there to make the final decision. Well, did that come into play and be a huge factor when coming into putting specific guys in the game at specific times? Yeah, probably. Probably because Gabe had the final call, but that's no excuse for what happened. The offense wasn't enough. Shocker. They didn't come up in timely situations. Shocker. Our bullpen didn't come up big. Shocker. I can't really go starting pitching because with the 5 innings and 57 pitches with 5 strikeouts, it was a game that was set up like that. It was a game where, hey, you're not really starting, but we want you to throw about 50 pitches. So it's an odd situation. I can't really state the starting pitching. It was essentially a bullpen game. Bryce Harper had a good game all around, though. Knocked in some runs, had the homer. He did get thrown out at second, but once again, the way it dribbled through the infield to the left side, I specifically thought that he was safe at second base. When you look at those slow-mo, it looks like he got in there. It was bang, bang. But I thought Bryce at the dish had a good day, and he knocked in 2 of those runs at the 1 spot, keep in mind, which is obviously not a traditional spot to knock in RBIs. Well, one of them was a solo shot that he produced himself, of course, but you catch my drift. I thought he had a good day at the office, at the batting, at the hitting. But I don't know what to tell you really about this team. It's insanity. It's almost like you're sitting there knowing you're going to lose, of course. That's inevitable. But just sitting there with this feeling in your stomach of being intrigued almost. And I'm not trying to say I'm rooting for the Phillies to lose. I want them to lose. I want to see them plummet. No, absolutely not. But I'm almost intrigued by how this is happening, why this is occurring. How is this actually continuing to go on again and again and again and again? I mean, you date it back to that Braves series. Horrendous. We lose. We lose the series. The Sunday game was abysmal. We let up, 15 runs? Then you go to Washington. You get swept. You come home, and right now at this point, we're trying to win 1 of 3 against the Miami Marlins. And in this game tonight, some guy who hasn't had a hit in 10 years because he was in the minors comes up huge in the 7th inning with a 2 RBI double off the wall. You've seen it all today. I mean, you really did. From that to Gabe Kapler's meltdown, frustration, which at the time, I hate to admit it because I'm not a Gabe Kapler guy, but he fired me up. He fired me up because you just don't see him like that. You don't. And it's funny because when you see managers do that, you know they go out there with a specific game plan. Let me fire up the crowd. Let me get hype. Let me get the team buzzing. So they go in there and know that it's going to happen. So sometimes it's sort of like a role they play. They might not actually feel that way. But when Gabe did it, you can sense that he actually felt that way. He was disgusted, disturbed with the call, with him getting thrown out. He was pissed off. He's kicking dirt on these umpires. You don't see Gabe do that. But that just shows the frustration level. That is telling to me. That shows me that this clubhouse has hit a whole new level of frustration because your manager is now doing that. Citizens Bank Park loved it. As they should. They should definitely give him a standing O as he walks out, absolutely. But it wasn't enough. The team fell apart. And now tomorrow we try and win 1 game, or we get swept against the Miami Marlins. Let me know your thoughts. See you guys next time.